But the thing is, you're trying to get that magic. It's never going to taste right because you're not walking through
Yeah, and you're
the
not
Magic
sweating
Kingdom.
and waiting online and kids screaming. Yeah, all the pleasures of Disneyland.
You were so New York
Yeah.
that you could even
No, I know.
be
I had a
grumpy.
very close friend when I was doing business continuity planning, and he was the IT manager for Knott's Berry Farm.
Oh my God.
So they used to call it the Rat Farm, Disneyland, and all the trade secrets.
That would be funny. There should be a book about the two going after each other. Gdayall, and welcome to episode 42, Copycat Recipes. We're not so much ripping off recipes, Phil, as curing homesickness.
Yeah, well, this is like going to be a cure-all.
That's right. Stuff that you miss, that you really, really wish you were back in the restaurant or, back at someone's house eating the stuff from home that they just don't have here or they find weird here.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of things, and vice versa.
That's exactly right. So now, before you started USA Foods, you came out here, what did you miss most that you couldn't just go grab?
Well, probably my missing of foods that I grew up with started when I moved out of New York.
Oh yes, California. You would have you'd have two lots of homesickness. Yes. West Coast
and I would say that they're both about the same. Like the things you grew up with, like the dishwater dogs off the street carts in New York. With the toppings that they put on there, potato knishes. And there was two different types. They have the square ones that you get at the deli, and then the round ones that when you go to like the beach. They had these guys that used to walk around the beach while you're on there trying to suntan or whatever you're doing. With two big shopping bags and selling one was cold, one was hot. So one was Sunny Boy drinks, right, orange drink, and the other one was knishes. And so you try to eat the knish, and they were different tasting than the square ones, but they were still good. But you try to eat them without getting any sand on them, So you didn't want no crunchy stuff.
And you couldn't use the orange drink because you just make your hands sticky.
Yeah, well, then you went in the water.
That's right. It gets all.
But you have to wait an hour.
What a load of rubbish. And I don't think occupational or like OSHA would allow people walking around with bags of conditions anymore. Make sure they're at the right temperature on a hot day.
Yeah, but just leave them out. And they were packed like in this little wax paper bag. That's how they were packed.
Maybe in someone's mom's house.
Well, I don't know if they were probably packed in somebody's house.
Yes. Yeah. That's what. Now, your mother made the journey over to the U.S. Mm-hmm. What did you remember her talking about what she missed or kind of making something?
Well, my father used to always, not criticize, but like play around with her because my mother used to always say, well, that like this and that was just so much better in Australia. And my father said, yeah, they used to have cherries the size of grapefruits, right? Stuff like that. So he used to tease her with that. But the things that probably my mother brought to my family in America was roast lamb.
I was saying
that's a staple of Australia for many, many years. And even to this day, like, my part of the family that lives in Kansas, lamb, it's like.
Because they're thinking mutton, aren't they?
Yeah, but they don't eat lamb.
No, well, Brittany and I were talking about this because, we're talking about the mint sauces because I grew up with like the sweet.
Yeah, and that's what my mother used to make, the mint sauce. Yeah. She'd make that and the gravy. And then, of course, afterwards, I had the gravy sandwich.
Oh, yes.
Smooth as a gravy sandwich.
But because my dad, he used to raise, he'd have lambs. So, but we wouldn't eat his lambs. He'd trade with the neighbor because he couldn't do it. But we were kind of unusual because of lamb. Mom makes a really good leg of lamb.
Yeah. But it's not an American thing.
It absolutely is not. Like that was sort of a bit fancy. Yeah. And
Yeah, like even in the Midwest, that unless they're eating Mrs. Paul's fish sticks, they're not even eating fish. They might eat catfish.
See, and now my tastes were simple. I missed. I missed menudo. I missed. On the other end of the spectrum, Taco Bell. I just missed driving through and being able to just get a hangover here.
And the things that probably I miss now that I can't get here commercially, biscuits.
Yes.
Biscuits and gravy, and I think even the places that serve American food, other than like KFC, because they don't do biscuits.
No, and they
That
should.
was one of my rants in the past.
Yes, I heard.
But even like other places that have American style foods and barbecues and thing, I think it's just too hard to make biscuits.
Yeah, because you have to start layering and getting it right. Now, before we have to go back to lamb for a second and your mother. So, did your mother make?
It's a roast, yeah.
Yes, but did she make the? Because we talked about our mothers making the same way with the garlic and the rosemary cut into it.
Cut into it.
But what kind of meat sauce did she make? Did she make the sort of vinegary one?
Yeah,
the
vinaigrette.
British.
Yeah,
British
vinaigrette. Yeah, it wasn't sweet. It was very vinaigrette to cut the fat.
Well, see, I had the jar of the mint jelly.
See, that's the sweet one.
Yeah, that's the sweet one.
She didn't. She made it all fresh.
Oh, that sounds beautiful. Well, see, this is part of it because you just think, sometimes you just, when I'm sick, like I want certain things. So you just want to have that comfort, and this is what this show is all about too. We want things that make us feel good, things that we miss, things bring back good memories. So,
because I'm sure that people like that are not Italian or had a mother that was Australian, that lived in the Midwest, they probably miss things like roast meats and some of the stews, and it's just even my first time I had brisket was made in Kansas City and was made in the oven. It's almost like a pot roast. It was delicious. I wish I had that recipe.
Yes, and things like because we've done a whole thing on coffee, but I missed just being able to get a brewed coffee somewhere because I didn't
regular decaf.
Regular, no decaf, half and half. I'll throw it half each. And so,
are you finished with that, Paula?
I'll just warm it up for you.
Yes, let me warm it up, and make sure you remember that when you give me a tip.
That's exactly right. So now we're gonna hit into a few things that we had to come up with, or Phil had to come up with. I'm just tell people about it. He's the brains behind this.
But remember, no, I just want to go back to the regular decaf.
Yes.
Right? Remember, you sit down into a diner or a place to get breakfast, and the cup was upside down. As soon as you turn it over, it was full. Over here, you go to get something for breakfast. They give you your coffee, and that takes 20 minutes, and then it's way before you even get to your main meal, and then you got to buy another coffee for another $4.50.
I know, it's rubbish.
Yeah.
Actually, we waited a whole hour for a pizza that we didn't even get last night. So don't even start my rant this week.
Oh.
And then they said they ran out of everything. And we look over at a table of people that actually work there.
Yeah, are eating our
pizzas. I was so cranky. But, the gin had
We're not going to mention the name of the pizza place, are we?
Well, it's not even a pizza place. But, I might just slip in around as we're talking about this. But look, let's get back to our housekeeping before Brendan yells at us.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the secret code
of the week is apple pie for the month.
For the month
of July.
July and apple pie. Everything is like what is it? Mom, baseball and apple pie.
Yep.
That's it. So now on the USA Foods website, you click on the listener discount logo. So you will see that you can click that, and it's on other products that are around as well.
Yeah.
There's an assortment of items that will request the secret code. So remember, apple pie.
Yeah. So like just recently, when we did that Cowboys and Jerky.
Yes.
So Phil Jr. put onto the website a sale on all the related type products.
Yep.
And then if you had the code, you get an additional 20% off. See, that's how much it's worth.
Now, I have answered this question heaps in the past couple of weeks.
Oh, don't tell me. Where do you get the discount?
Yes, where do you put it?
Where do you get Barbara, it? I can't find a discount. Where could I put it?
No, it's not. I promise you it's there. I promise you.
I don't see it.
You have to download the email. Why do I have to? It's okay. Let's just say you've worked out the discount. Yes. Apple pie, right? So you're ordering away. Then up on the top right-hand side, you'll see your cart. So you're going to check out now because you're excited. Yeah. And you're going to get your goods. Click it, and you have your cart. You see all your goodies lined up.
Right.
And at the bottom, there is a red box. And it says, oh, no, actually, it's the next page. The next page. That's where you can put your notes, right? That's your notes. The next page, you click, check out, and it says discount. Yeah. Or gift certificate.
Yes.
And it's a box.
Put the number in.
And you put your number or your letters or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And I will help you. I absolutely call up if you have an issue, but that's where it is. It's in the magic red box.
So I could call you? I have issues. You're like Dr. Phil.
Do you know, I've made some lovely friends.
Yes.
telling them where the discount box is. And a few people, their grandchildren wouldn't help them find it. So, we've made friends all over the country. We can stay somewhere in Queensland sometime. Okay, right. So,
all right, housekeeping done.
That's it.
Okay. So, and then one last housekeeping thing. If you want to get a hold of us, podcast at usafoods.com.au.
And I'll talk to you there too. So you just get too much of me.
All right. So back to the show. Are we going to take a break now? No. All right.
Keep going.
Back to the show. So we shouldn't say that because we're already here. So recipes for some well-known favorites that we're going to talk about.
Yes.
A few things that USA Foods have created. So we did our own copycat.
That's exactly right. That's what I was saying.
One of them was a copycat of my own copycat. That somebody copied my copycat, and I copied the copycat.
That's right. Okay. That's it. I don't know. Okay, yeah, move on.
Okay. And then Bobby came up with chef secrets. Ooh.
Yeah, so sometimes, when you go to a restaurant and it tastes really good,
yes,
and you go home and you play around with it, it's still just not quite right. These are a few tips that might make your home food taste as good
so
as the
not like turning it on high and walking away, do something else and wondering why it burnt.
Phil?
I'm not saying nothing.
You are naughty.
All right, fun facts. So
it's a food fact.
Oh, food fact. Food fun fact.
Food fun fact.
All right, food fun fact. You want to do this?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, remember our friend Megan, who grew up in Northern California as well. She sent this to us last week. Yumly. So it's YUMMLY.com. It has an article in it, the 13 most searched recipes. They also have an app as well. We'll give some more sites toward the end of the show. But this is a really handy one to find American sort of recipes and home cooking as well as sort of restaurant things. Yeah. So that's a good one. Now, Phil, I'll let you do the next one.
The Mac litigation.
It's Mick litigation.
Mick?
Yeah,
Mac, like McDonald's. Not McDonald's. So,
sweet Lord.
Number one.
Yes.
Okay. So this was just recently.
Yes.
It's been in the news that you might be followed. So the Big Mac was available since 1973.
Yes.
Then Hungry Jack's came up with the Hungry Jack's Big Jack that they launched in July of 2020.
Yep.
So the Big Jack trademark application was uncontested on launchment in November of 2019 and was successfully registered in June 2020. Prior to the commencement of the marketing campaign, the application was successfully disputed.
No, it was successful
despite. Oh, okay. I should learn how to read. Okay, I'm still waiting for that lawsuit against the New York City Department of Education.
That's right.
Okay, the application was successful despite McDonald's insisting that Big Mac was a trademark.
Well, they can't have everything, and they were sleepy and didn't watch it go through. Because I'm assuming if they jumped up and down on the lodgement in November, they could have won that.
It's about a 6-month period where it sits there.
And,
nobody contested it then.
I wonder if someone in their legal department
screwed up.
Yeah, screwed up and probably now works for, I don't know, the New York City Department of Education. And litigation too. Oh, this is funny because I love this show, so this means a lot. Back in the early 70s, McDonald's ad agency consulted with the Crofts, which was a production company, about doing a campaign called McDonaldland that was similar in look and feel to H.R. Pufnstuf. Do you remember Witchy Poo and all of that? Do you remember that?
No.
It was the stuff of nightmares for some children. Brendan freaked him out. I thought it was pretty awesome. McDonaldland's characters would be adaptations of the ones from the Crofts' popular Saturday morning show. In short, the Crofts were told the campaign was canceled. But in 1971, the McDonaldland commercials began to air, and they sued and they won. Whoa. So Croft won because the Mayor McCheese, that's his name. Mayor McCheese of McDonaldland looks just like H.R. Pufnstuf, right? And you've got Grimace and the Hamburglar and all the other ones, right? They're like a carbon
characters.
Yes. So it was nice to see that the Crofts won. And they still used the characters, but now someone like Brendan could have nightmares from both sets. And we'll leave that for now, and we will come back after the break.
Okay. Okay, we're back.
And you win.
Who goes first?
That's right.
Yeah. So, copycat recipes that we're talking about today, they can be very similar to what you get at your local favorite restaurant.
And hopefully, yes. And often the restaurant recipes are made with the ingredients that you can find in your kitchen. So it's nothing sort of weird. And part of the copycat is some things you have to substitute here or learn different names for.
Yeah, and probably one of the big things that's you need to know how to cook a little bit.
Well, that would be helpful. Yes, that would be good. I mean, there's only couple people in our house that could do that. There's one person that wouldn't be able to manage that.
Yeah.
Yes, you're up. And some restaurant recipes aren't really that special or made with secret ingredients. So it's sort of like you don't want to be afraid of it. You just want to jump in.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like with any recipe. Don't be scared of it. Read it, understand it, and then get everything.
That is the trick.
I think part of the thing, and then you have like this chef's things of what that's got to come up. And should I wait now or do it later? Or
what?
To tell you my little secret thing.
No, tell us.
Okay. Like if you watch any of the cooking shows, and this is in the restaurants too.
Yep.
Have everything, all the ingredients prepared to the portions that you need for the ingredient all ready to go. Even if you got to dirty up 22 different little bowls.
Yes.
It just makes it so much easier that when the time comes, bang, you do it.
Yep, that's it. Sometimes I do that if I have a day to do it. I'll do all my little ramekins out and I'll chop everything up, and it feels kind of fun too because
you're doing all your onions, your garlics, you're chopping your herbs up,
and read the recipe all the way through.
Yeah.
I'm kind of bad for that because if anyone ever uses a Thermomix, often the recipe goes, do this. And then I miss the bit that goes, remove from bowl and put aside. And I'm like, oops, well, I guess this is going to work out somehow. Yeah. So just be careful. Now, the recipes we're going to talk about, I think, KFC must be the most, I think that might have even started this off. People wanting those secret herbs and spices.
What are they? Yes. Yeah. We went through them a few weeks back.
We did because there was a piece of paper found in his second wife's photo album, like after, I think, her death. Mm-hmm. And they thought that could be it. Now, Phil Jr., he had an opinion on the recipes that you can get on the internet for it.
It says too much flour.
Yeah, and that makes sense. It should be, what did he say?
Half and half. Half flour, half spices and herbs.
And that's it. So
it's lighter.
That's right.
And then also, I think with chicken, I mean, I know a lot of other chicken recipes. I don't know about the KFC. They put it into a brine first.
Yeah, so buttermilk or a salt brine.
Yeah, but I don't think the KFC does that. But, if you look at the story about Mr. Colonel Sanders there.
Yes, Carlin.
How he took a pressure cooker and worked with it and hours and hours of cooking and throwing chicken away till he got it right and converting the pressure cooker to be able to fry oil.
So that was his secret.
Yeah.
His secret way to do it.
So this way he could cook the chicken in 8 minutes or something like that.
So the trick is, I think, we're never going to get the temperature that you're going to get in a commercial kitchen for that. So we need to get the flavor of the seasonings. So usually something's going to have to give a little bit. Mm-hmm. Now,
one hint on doing chicken like that is to sous vide it first. So you basically cook it. Okay. Yes. I know a lot of restaurants do that with, wings in America. So they're sous vide and then they they're cryo packed. So they keep fresh for long. So as they need them, they open up the cryo pack that's already the chicken is basically pre-cooked. They season it, coat it, and then they deep fry it for only a few minutes.
Oh, perfect!
And it's because it's already cooked.
Yep,
so I've seen that. Basically heating it up and cooking and getting it crisp on the outside.
Oh, I've seen that done with steak.
Yeah,
and it's a bit frightening because it doesn't look that good when it comes out of the sous vide. But once you caramelize it,
just 2 minutes. Mm-hmm.
Now, one thing I did miss. And I'm so sad because it's not at the local malls, the good mall or the bad mall, not at either mall anymore, is Orange Julius. So I spent this week sort of looking at recipes, and there's some good ones, but one of them was condensed frozen orange juice.
Yeah.
Right. And then I found a recipe of how to condense orange juice.
Oh.
Put
it in the oven and dry it out?
No, it's funny. So, when you get a popsicle and you suck all the juice out of the top and you just have the ice left?
Right.
It's pretty much that. So you get orange juice and you freeze it and then you let it defrost.
Yeah.
And the white bits stay at the end, the icy bits, and you chuck those out.
Ah, okay.
But can I tell you, you got to be home for like 2 days. You got to watch it.
When's the next lockdown?
It has been a fail.
Oh,
I've half defrosted. I went, yeah.
I think in Victoria we just had 2 people come down with the flu, so they might, lock down the whole state.
Okay, so I'm going to try to condense orange juice for everyone.
Yes.
But it was a bit of a fail in that I shouldn't take 3 days to make an orange juice.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give that a go later. So, Megan was talking how she likes those as well. So I'll let her know how my condensing goes.
Yeah. So we had, in New York, we had Orange Julius down in the subways.
Yep.
Okay. And Needix was another one, which is sort of like a cop. They made hot dogs also. Needix.
Right. Did you have a hot dog on a stick?
No, not until I moved out of New York.
Yes.
That was a big mall thing.
Oh, it was with the big hats.
With the big stupid hat. Yeah.
I was just like, you go in there, and if you see someone that was like really cool at school working a hot dog on a stick, you go there, you got the hat on. I don't.
Yeah, we used to call it the Orange Room. Orange Julius. So the next one you got here, Jack in the Box tacos.
$2 taco.
I thought they were 33 cents, 3 for $1.
Maybe in the old days. And I had a persnickety aunt, great aunt, Aunt Blynn. She lived into her 90s because she could be mean as a snake. God bless her. But she was so fussy, but she loved a Jack in the Box taco. And it's funny because it's a fried shell. So they mix, and I've looked it up, meat and the beans together.
Yeah.
And then they put just like sticking like a triangle, like 2 slices or 1 slice of American cheese. So melty cheese in it. Then they fry it, and then they stick just a little bit of lettuce and some taco sauce in it. But nothing, it tastes like it? The new combos that we got that are the 7-layer dip.
Oh, okay.
Because I was sitting there, and Sean and I have to make sure we test some things to make sure it's not.
Make sure they're good.
Yeah, that's right. And I was like, oh, this is like a Taco Bell taco. All right, Jack in the Box taco. So that recipe I'm going to be trying this weekend because I miss it terribly.
And then we got next one, Starbucks pumpkin bread.
Now,
I don't know. I don't know if I would get too excited about pumpkin bread.
No, because I like my pumpkin bread, but a lot of
like the banana bread recipe using can of pumpkin instead.
Well, yes, you can do that. They also have a good lemon loaf because Starbucks is so much more popular with food in the U.S. Like people getting their breakfast and snacks there.
You know why? Because we know Mr. Cool that supplied Starbucks with all the cakes.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. And if you're driving to work and you're getting your, because we don't have a handy app, your app and you get your lemon loaf. But people are missing, and there's all the Starbucks scones and all their treats like that.
Well,
you can get.
When I was looking at Copycat recipes, one of the ones that was most requested and looked absolutely fabulous, because I looked at a lot of them, they looked disgusting.
Yes.
Right? I wouldn't eat them. But the Starbucks very berry coffee cake looked.
Ooh, I didn't see that one.
You look at it and it's just like, where do I get this?
Well, we need to do a show on coffee cakes. So maybe we need to have a coffee cake off.
Yeah.
And look, Taco Bell enchiladas. That's something you can't get here. I found a recipe for that. I found a recipe.
So what's an enchilada? Is this from enchilada?
Yeah. It's sort of like an enchilada burrito, right?
Yeah.
It was big like when I was in high school and stuff. So it comes on and off on the menu, but they have like a crunch wrap now, and you can find a Copycat for anything on the Taco Bell menu. I do know a friend back in high school, Chris, who accidentally spilled some soap in the ground beef, but decided it wasn't worth telling anyone. But that was a long time ago in Tracy, so don't worry about that.
Food that tastes like Dawn. Anyway, I told you that. And then you got Baskin Robbins ice cream cake. I guess, but if you lived in New York, then you want the Carvel.
Carvel, that's right. And I think the trick is the American cake our ice cream cake has a layer of cake.
Yeah.
And then
the ice cream.
And then melted ice cream and things like Smucker's or Hershey's hot fudge.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's the flavor that's missing here.
Yeah.
You don't have that hot fudge, and you can put that on top, and it freezes.
Yeah.
So
I think that not Haagen-Dazs, Ben and Jerry's. They came out I haven't eaten it, but they have the chocolate top, the new ones. It has like chocolate on top of it.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yeah. So once you eat the chocolate on top, so
it's just ice cream.
It's just ice cream. Yeah. But most people would eat the whole thing anyway.
Do you know my mother she complained because when I go home and visit, there'll be like a cookie dough, Ben and Jerry's, and she goes, "You're the only person I know that can eat the whole vein of cookie dough and just leave the vanilla ice cream behind." I'm like, no one else is getting in this pint. This is just for me. Now,
then we got the In-N-Out burgers, which we, if you got to go back to our previous recipes, you gave out the whole Copycat.
Yeah, because Brendan and I do a copycat of that, and it's all about the crunch. And see, there's your secret recipe. Yeah. It's really simple ingredients, but it's the layering.
Yeah.
And the getting the right part of the lettuce for the crunch in it.
Yeah. And then we got IHOP pancakes.
Yes.
Well, IHOP pancakes are just as good all the pancakes that you buy at any diner in America. They're all light, fluffy. They're just spectacular, and they're so hard to duplicate. And I talked about this. I found that their secret recipe is just use buttermilk instead of milk.
Well, and it's so popular in the store because people come in and get the pancake mixes. Yeah. Because whatever they do, like Pearl Mill now, that was Aunt Jemima, and what's the other one that we get in?
We used to get Hungry Jacks.
That's right. They get fluffier, and you get a nice even golden outside, which is hard to do.
But if you want a light and fluffy, you got to use buttermilk.
Well, that's true, and that's what it is here too with this one.
Then one of my favorite Californians is the El Pollo Loco chicken, which I've tried a numerous bunch of recipes and made sure I religiously went through all the ingredients and the ways, the process. No,
it's not the magic.
No, I don't know.
Well.
I did the press, everything. Nah, can't get it. Disappointed.
That's also my stepfather loves El Pollo because it's grilled. It's not like it's a nice grilled chicken.
Yeah. Then the next one's I'm laughing because I'm looking down.
Yes.
P.F. Chang's Kung Pao chicken, and I'm thinking about the size. With Kramer, and he had the Kung Pao chicken. He's on with Mel Torme. He couldn't talk.
That's right.
I thought he was handicapped.
Well, now, Chinese food here is different. And we're talking earlier, it's different on the East Coast to the West Coast.
Much different, yep.
And so people really miss some of those dishes and the flavors of them. P.F. Chang's is pretty good because they put their copycat recipes on their own site.
Oh.
Which is it's like P.F. Chang's at home, I think it's called.
Well, there is the, also, you could get, I did say the orange chicken.
Yes.
Which is the next one on there. And that looked really good.
Well, I made a homemade orange chicken last year, I think, because I was craving it.
Yeah.
Because I had it when I went and visited a couple years ago. And it took me so long to make it. I was like, this is so good. I'm really going to enjoy it because I'm never doing it again. Yeah. And we also have a customer. Our kids last year were doing year 12 during lockdown. And she needed the Panda Express orange chicken sauce because her son needed it to get through. And I just heard from her this week because she's got uni exams. He's like, do you have any back yet?
Just to remind me with chickens and all that, I pulled a while ago, about a month or two ago, I was making something. And Jeanette goes, what you doing? And I did like a Three Stooges thing on it, right? She goes, what are you doing? I said, well, it's just to separate two eggs. I had one here and one over there.
Oh, God. Yeah, the poor woman having to deal with that.
All right. Then we got Petra's Farm Chesapeake Bay cookies, which we sell at the store. So
we do, but you know what?
Some people like homemade. It's always better.
Well, and the thing is, I have looked at the Mrs. Fields recipe. I have looked at the stolen. What was it from? Like Magnum, Magnum's recipe. I've looked at whatever. They're pretty much all the same.
Yeah.
Extra. It's more chips than you would put in a normal recipe. Mm-hmm. Can be more butter, or another thing some of them use is grating a chocolate bar into it. So you get the chocolate taste all the way through. But yes, homemade is the best.
Yeah, same thing with Girl Scout Thin Mints. Not my favorite.
Oh, I love those. Because, a serving is a sleeve. I do miss that at work because you'd sit there and there'd be two people or one or two people that had kids that were Girl Scouts. And you go, when's cookie ordering?
Yeah. It's sort of like last week, we had all of these Oreos dark chocolate. Yes. And they weren't selling. Nobody was buying them. I know. Everybody was scared of them. So I decided, well, let's open one up. I had never tasted them. Once we tasted them, they were magnificent.
And it was like a set of locusts came in after them in the break room. There was two left in the back.
Yeah, like we had tons of them sitting in the back and nobody's buying. Why is nobody wanting these? And then when we opened them, then we said, well, let's put them out for a sample. I bet everybody would buy them. And know if that's working or not.
But yeah, it's a good thing I'm not in the shop anymore because the samples would go by the wayside.
Yes.
But I think the thing is with the Girl Scout cookies, and why we miss them so much, look, they are an average cookie. They're not overly special, but you can only, you can't just go to a store and buy them.
Yeah.
And it was a special thing. So I think that sort of experience, you kind of miss that. And you can't get it anymore. And I don't want anyone to tell me I can't have something anymore.
And then you got the Olive Garden breadsticks.
The never-ending breadsticks.
Why?
I don't...
Are they soft?
Yes.
So
yeah,
like
it's not
pretzel.
like but it's like they're a little bit fatter.
Yeah.
And I never liked them, but people talk about them all the time.
Well, just make a good pizza dough recipe. I'm sure that it is. Roll it up, put your whatever seasoning onto it, and bake it. It shouldn't be that hard. I mean, we got a great pizza dough recipe now, and
yes,
maybe we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah, and you can do some stuff with that.
Yep.
But I think people forget sometimes that they can actually cook things. Like as in, if I just think this way, I can use a pizza dough recipe for that.
And I don't think that'd be very hard. And the pizza dough recipe we found, and we'll give you the link to it. It's so simple.
Yes.
So simple.
Well, Phil discovered that, and it makes great focaccia, as I've been able to have a few bits.
And then Cinnabon roads.
Cinnabon's finally made it here.
Yep.
You can smell it when you walk in the mall.
and it just goes right to the hips, huh?
Right to the hips. Now, we probably don't need as much anymore if they're all over Australia, but I think it's more the icing. Because you can make...
That's where all the fat is.
Yeah, well, it's all the good. Fat is flavor.
Yeah, I know.
And the truck of sugar in it and the cream cheese. It's all good. Yeah. Now, Arby's horsey sauce.
Yeah, no, I love that.
Right?
And I love mixing it with barbecues, the Arby's barbecues. You get the little packets at Arby's. They used to give the containers, because last time I went to an Arby's in Kansas, I went to the grand opening. They opened up one in Fort Scott, Kansas.
Just for you.
And I had to go there. Just for the sauce. I don't care. Just give me the bacon, cheese, roast beef. Yeah, I'll take that. Thank you. Sit down. Yeah, where's all the sauce packets?
Just drown it.
And just, half. I used to use the two together is like phenomenal.
Right.
So barbecue sauce and a horsey sauce. So my horsey sauce is mixing Hellmann's mayonnaise.
Right.
And we have the Beaver creamy horseradish.
Oh, yes.
And
that's
mix those two together. And it's pretty close. It's not 100%. But it's enough to say, yeah, this is okay. I haven't done it yet with the barbecue sauce, but now I'm thinking about I'm going home.
You go and do it, yeah. Oh, get some fries and dip in it. The recipe on Top Secret Recipes, you've got it down because they've got 1 cup mayo, 2 tablespoons plus 2 teaspoons horseradish sauce, and then they've just added salt, a bit of sugar, and some vinegar.
Yeah.
So just may brighten it up and too with the vinegar. That would be good. I like that one.
Then you got Dole Whip.
Yeah, because you go
through. What is that?
It's okay. You go through Disneyland, and you see everyone with the yellow sort of like it looks like soft serve.
Oh, okay.
But it's pineapple. So it's pineapple and...
So it's a pineapple ice cream or a pineapple ices?
It's almost
like a gelati?
Yeah, it's sort of like a gelati, but it's made with frozen pineapple and some pineapple juice and some sugar, of course. But the thing is, you're trying to get that magic. It's never going to taste right because you're not walking through.
Yeah, and you're not sweating and waiting online and kids screaming. Yeah, all the pleasures of Disneyland.
You were so New York that you could even.
No, I know. I had a very close friend when I was doing business continuity planning, and he was the IT manager for Knott's Berry Farm.
Oh my God!
So they used to call it the Rat Farm, Disneyland, and all the trade secrets.
That would be funny. There should be a book about the two going after each other. Now, Shake Shack milkshakes. I'm sure, have you had a Shake Shack milkshake?
No, I'm not a milkshake person. I think Jeanette had I know Phil definitely had one.
Yeah.
He's a milkshake person. I'm not a milkshake person.
Well, it's funny because...
It's called for a lot, huh?
It's a thick shake. So there's vanilla and chocolate you can get the recipes for. And I think a lot of that what people miss here, as we've talked about with milkshakes and ice cream, you just get froth milk. And that's...
So now we got General Foods International, the international coffee.
Yes, now.
So, I look at that all the time on the order sheet, and I don't buy it. So maybe, do people want that?
Yeah, it's sort of retro because, kids...
It's instant coffee, isn't it?
Yeah, so...
Cafe Vienna.
Yeah, they had... I'm just bringing up, like, vanilla, Vienna, Swiss mocha, and Mom used to... I saw something on Facebook the other day. Someone's like, "Do you remember this?" And I was like, oh, "It'd be so fancy." Mom had like a little tin, and
yeah.
you weren't always allowed it. Some people only got it at Christmas. It was before we kind of got,
Yeah.
nicer coffee. It is. It's only instant coffee, but it brings back fond memories of being a kid and Mum's doing that.
Now, next one is Popeye's chicken sandwich.
Ooh.
Now, I had rumors that Popeye's is opening in Australia.
Yeah, you said that.
It'd be interesting to see if they're going to bring biscuits.
Well, they have to, don't they?
I think so.
Because it's like a mainstay of their menu. And the chicken sandwich was really big because they didn't do those for a while. So it just went nuts.
Because Chick-fil-A,
yeah,
just like brought out theirs and everybody loved it. Now everybody's, trying to catch up.
Jump in. But that would be, I think I got that from the Top Secret recipe site as well. That would also make a great batter breading for chicken as well. So if you like Popeye's chicken, you give that one a shot.
Yeah, and then White Castle burgers.
Yes.
Well, that's easy to do.
Well, tell me.
Well, basically, you use poor quality beef.
You cheap meat.
Cheap meat, yeah. Press it down into the size of a playing card or so.
Right.
Okay. And then pat it down so it's only about a little bit more than a quarter of an inch thick.
Right.
Okay. Puts a little holes like a make it look like a 5 of diamonds,
right.
Put like 5 little holes in it.
That's right.
And freeze it flat.
Right.
Okay. I've done this.
I believe you.
All right. And then buy small dinner rolls
because
that's the only thing that will fit. Okay. So then you get dehydrated onions, which is easy to find. So do this beforehand with the onions. So they need to go into a bowl with water until they hydrate.
Right.
Okay. And then you need a griddle.
Okay.
Okay. Or a cast iron skillet. Ladle some of that, get that to a nice cooking temperature. Ladle that onto it, pretty wet, the onions. Then place your meat on top of that, frozen.
Okay.
Okay. And then your rolls on top of those.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So you take the roll in half, put one half down, the other half on top of it. Okay. So now what it's doing, it's steaming the meat. That's what the holes are there for, to steam it through.
To let it all go
so you don't have to turn them over. And you just cook it for about 3 to 4 minutes. That's all. It doesn't take long because the meat's very thin and the steam cooks it very efficiently. And then you just take it out, and then you put a pickle on it. You put your cheese on it, then whatever, and then put it in your sandwich. And there's your White Castle, your slider.
We should do that.
And ketchup. So my favorite was always this. So a normal one would just be with a pickle and ketchup, but I think you had to ask for the ketchup or the pickle. I don't remember. But I made sure my favorite was with the ketchup, pickle, and cheese.
Oh, yum.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds really good because I know where I can get little rolls just up the road, and we should do that. Yeah. And no, look, we talked about, now I'm mentioning Mrs. Fields because that's Phil Jr.'s favorite.
Yeah.
But really, I think we've talked about that one because if he just grates a little bit of a Hershey bar in that, he will have a different flavor that'll be fantastic.
Okay. Now, I just want to go through some things that I found.
Yes, please.
Okay. So we talked about the Panda Express orange chicken.
Yes.
That was there. Now, this lady on, this is all from Taste of Home, Big Mac. So they deconstructed a Big Mac and made it almost like into a salad. Look really good.
Yeah. Well, that would be good because it'd have the shredded lettuce.
And then there was that Pandora bread. I've never been Panera.
Panera.
I've never been there. I've seen them all the time in California, but I've never been.
Yeah, I was going to say, Mom quite likes them. She gets certain things from there that she.
But
quite
they
likes.
had one thing there: the lemon chicken ouzo soup, and it remind me of Chicago.
Yep.
With avocado lemon.
Yes, so the Greek soup.
It looked really good. Then they had the Red Lobster, the Cheddar Bay biscuits, which we also sell the mix for.
Yeah, we do, and that flies out of the store.
Yeah. And Cracker Barrel.
Yes.
Have you been one of those?
No.
The Motherload Cracker Barrel. The chicken fried steak.
I love chicken fried steak, though.
And I had one there recently, or probably on one of my last trips there. And that was really good. Wasn't greasy or anything.
Yeah. Well, if you cook it quickly.
Yeah.
I talked to Brendan about that because I was explaining chicken fried steak in white gravy not too long ago.
And then there's, I can't even read my own writing, but I think it's Coventry Kitchen is a old-fashioned apple crisp with ice cream on it.
Wow. Oh, that would be fantastic.
Now, here's something, if you get good hot dogs, Sonic corn dog.
Oh, okay.
And it looked like like a regular corn. I don't know what they did. I didn't read the recipe, but it just looked good. And then we talked about Popeyes. Their biscuits is on there.
Yep.
And Rock Bottom, that must be another place, is a pulled pork pretzel.
Pulled pork
No,
pretzel.
sorry.
I was going to say,
yeah, not
excuse
pulled
me.
pork. I'm going back onto a different recipe.
I know what you're thinking of. The bun.
No, it's a ballpark pretzel.
Okay.
And it's from Rock Bottom.
Okay. Also, that'd be like you could
soft
pretzel.
A real soft pretzel. That looked also good. And Clover's. Now, Clover's came up when we were doing the thing with hamburgers.
Yeah.
Making some really great looking burgers.
Mm-hmm.
And they do a vanilla custard.
Ooh.
Which is like an ice cream.
Yes. So the custard ice cream. So
good. And then you got that Cheesecake Factory. I've been talking about Cheesecake Factory, which is huge for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's just around the corner from Mom's house.
Yep. And they had a Reese's peanut butter cheesecake on recipe, and that also looked like.
Well, I know where there's a lot of Reese's stuff, so we might have to bust that one out as well.
And then I got my wish list of other things that I'd like to see, but we could do that later on in the show.
Okay, that's right. Now, to go back to that, a corn dog is a really good one because people ask us for corn dogs.
Yeah, well, we used to have them at one time from Hormel, and then they stopped bringing them in.
But it's hard. There's one sort of thing. What is it called?
Well, we do have we had the Morningstar Farm, but that was vegetarian. But that tasted really good.
Absolutely tasted real. So you definitely need a copycat recipe if you're trying to make that here because they are hard to find. Now, I found, so we're talking about chef secrets. So these are things, much like we were talking about cutting everything up and I made the orange chicken. Time. Chefs say, you need to spend some time. You can't.
Well, how about if you use oregano? If you have no time.
I'll take the basil, thank you. So, there's slow cooking makes things taste wonderful.
Yes.
Some of those restaurant meals you might want to do on the weekend where you're going to sit there.
Time.
That's exactly right. You're
Especially
not going to
things that stew around and things like that.
You're not going to slap together something.
Yeah, because the long and slow, if you're doing ribs, you're doing briskets, it's got to, as the guy who owned Stubbs, the original owner, right, before McCormick's bought it.
Yes.
It's got to be as slow as the Mississippi. That's how you got to cook them. Because if you rush it, it ain't going to come out good.
No, and that's right. So, and another thing is, now we've talked about this. Yeah. A little bit of cream makes all the difference. So rather than using milk or anything else, you can just add a few spoonfuls of cream and it'll smooth it out and just make it so rich and velvety as well.
Butter too.
Oh God, butter.
Butter
makes everything better.
Yeah. I've had, and my grandmother probably turned over in a grave, but I put butter now into my pasta sauce because I watched this Italian guy on TV. He said the same thing. My mother will kill me if she knew this. He put butter in it, and it just, you don't need your salt, you don't need your sugar. Put a dab of butter into it, and it just bang.
I saw Marco Pierre White do that, and I thought if he can do that,
you can do it.
Yeah, and it was beautiful. Salt. A lot of people are afraid to use salt. Are afraid to season. I know one of them. What did I say last night?
I bet you're the cue on this one.
So, when you are boiling pasta or potatoes.
Well, you need it to increase the temperature of the boil.
Well, yes, you want a hard boil, but you want it salty like the sea.
Yeah, but the more, when you put salt in it, brings the boiling temperature higher.
Yes. Yes.
Just like it doesn't freeze. So it works both ways.
Yes, that's right. With the homemade ice cream and things with the rock salt. But you want to season every layer. So sometimes you'll cook something and you'll just season toward the end. Yeah. Or no, you want to season everything that goes into it. So, every layer of flavor, you need to add more. And a lot of people are afraid they're going to jack up their blood pressure and all of that, but that's not necessarily true.
And here's a hint from Heloise, or if you want to call me Heloise. That's who the hell is he? No, that's the male version of Heloise. Yeah. I've used the kosher salt sometimes, but now I'm converting over to when I'm doing something I need to add a little bit of salt, but I want some more flavor.
Yes.
I use either garlic salt.
Yes.
Okay, like we use the garlic salt with the parsley in it.
Yep.
Or I use a lot of, celery salt.
Oh, celery salt brings such a good flavor.
Yeah, and especially things with tomatoes in it or or that. It just takes it to another level.
Agreed. And I think it can be hard to find celery salt, but it's worth.
I think we're out of it now.
We
do have an order in for it.
Good, but it's worth finding it, and I think that's what makes the difference in going back to KFC copycat recipes. Celery salt
is in that recipe.
It has to be, because I know I've made something, and the only thing that's not sort of average was the celery salt, and I went, this tastes a bit KFC.
Yeah.
Now, citrus juice and zest. So that a little bit of a lemon or orange zest or lime zest and juice can brighten up a soup. It can brighten up, like asparagus, a squeeze of lemon juice on that.
Or the and this, we went away to Newcastle with the hockey team.
Yeah.
So I was doing the cooking, and one of my friends was doing it, and he's French.
Oh, handy. Yeah. That's a handy.
Pasquale.
So
Pasquale. So Pasquale's Italian.
That's right.
Yeah. Anyway, so I made very simple broccoli, and he'd like, "How do you do this?" And it was basically, you get a broccoli, rinse it off, put it in a bowl, maybe a little bit of water, okay, put a little Glad wrap over it, put it in the microwave for like a minute and a half.
Yep.
Take it out, steaming, drizzle on your lemon and olive oil. That's it.
Yep.
You don't need anything else, and then you could drink it as a soup too, at the the water on the bottom, which we used to do because my grandmother used to make a broth out of that.
Oh wow!
On New Year's Day for your hangover.
Well, that is important.
So simple and so good and tasty. Just lemon and olive oil.
That's beautiful. Yeah, and also now talking about what we had spoken about before with the boil, the heat. So making sure you're browning your meat.
Yeah.
You start off a roast at a high temperature to get that all rendering fat with it. And you have to make sure things are heated. Like, heat your pan before you put your oil in. Yeah. Heat everything. And especially if you get, if you're using a cast iron pan, make sure that is screaming hot if it needs to be. And you have the
smoking hot if you're doing a steak.
That's right.
Smoking hot. It's got to be smoking. But that's the only pan you could do that with. Don't do it with a Teflon.
No, because they'll just wrecks it. So you need to have the right equipment, which is not on this list. But if you only need one really good cast iron pan. And I have my great grandmother's, so it lasts generations.
Forever. But if you go to buy a cast iron pan, of course you could buy, over at one of the sporting goods or even at Aldi that they go, for $20.
Yeah.
And that's all it's worth. Okay, because it's brittle. It's not finished properly. Okay, the handle, when you pick it up, you'll know it right away. There are only 2 brands that are out there that are worth their weight in gold.
Yes.
Okay, and that's Loge.
Yes.
And Victoria.
Yep.
Okay, if you go to Americans Consumer Report, they're 1 and 2.
Okay.
And for 2 different reasons too.
Mm-hmm.
Because they all have their attributes, but they're both wild up there. And you buy it once,
don't have to do it again.
It's forever.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not like Teflon pan. You buy it, spend $150 for it, and 2 years later you got to throw it away.
Oh yeah. I now have one Teflon pan that I just replace at the grocery store, $20 a pop.
Yep.
Every few months. Now, and fresh spices. So it doesn't necessarily, not fresh herbs, but fresh spices. So get your whole spices. So, whole cloves.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Like you see the guys get the little thing of nutmeg and grate it.
Yes, right? Do that and grind your own spices. Yeah. And so they're also talking about roasting them as well to add some more flavor. Mm-hmm. So that's something easy to do. And if you're out at the market, because, when you go to the market, you'll have all those great spice and nut stalls. You can do that.
Now, see, you have here to go get an inexpensive
coffee grinder.
So if you're doing hard grind like peppercorns,
yes,
and you want really one that's also could last you for forever,
yep,
go to the markets. You'll go to like where they sell coffee or like spices and stuff. I know at the South Melbourne market, you could go there and buy. That's where I bought mine. A Turkish coffee grinder.
Oh,
okay, yes. So it looks like a stick. It's only a centimeter, about 4 centimeters around.
Yep.
Big hides, brass, heavy. Will grind peppercorns till no end. Like, like some people, when you go over and, are you done yet? Do you want more? Well, in about 3 seconds, you can load this whole plate up.
Right.
That'll be looking like a blackened steak. Yeah. That's how quickly it grinds and efficiently. And it comes off the bottom, and that's where it captures it all. Perfect.
Okay. Well, I've seen those. Herman has one of those, I think. And also, if you remember,
It's a weapon too.
It is. I think, and I think a lot of people in the New York Times cooking group has that. I've seen a few pictures of those floating around, which has some great recipes as well. And make sure you shell out for good ingredients or certain ones. Like, some butter is much better. Like, not to be too fancy schmancy, but I will either get, if I'm making something that is butter forward, so like say I'm making a pancake, I will get French butter or I'll get some butter from Gippsland. Like I don't want to get a big necessarily brand named. I want like
something that a little bit flavor.
Yeah, because it's gonna be top quality.
And the same thing with your cured meats like prosciutto.
Yep.
And there's a lot of great prosciuttos here that domestically and imported.
Yep.
Okay. And you get a slice thin, it just goes a long way. You get 200 grams and it goes a long way because they slice it paper thin. That's all you need it. You need
and if you go to the right deli, they'll let you have a taste of it. Just like I want to make sure that's okay. And they'll give you a little bit, which you want to do.
And the same thing with bacon.
Yes.
Okay. So bacon, like there was a thing on Yankstand under, and I replied to it because somebody said, "Oh, we get this bacon, at Costco," and they had the Colberg.
Yes,
bacon.
I know that one.
Okay, and I didn't want to comment. Yeah, I just said good bacon if it's gray in color, or if it's not a nice rosy red or whatever. That means there's a lot of water in it. And then when you fry it, you're going to be disappointed because the amount of water in it. You look at the ingredients, and sometimes water is a second ingredient. Okay. Mm-hmm. That means when you fry it, it's going to trickle down to nothing. And because of all the moisture, it's never going to get crisp because you're steaming it.
Yep.
Okay. So if it's rosy red, it looks like cured meat, looks like prosciutto, that's your top quality bacon. Okay. And and we get ours from Peter Rocher, who does with the maple cure, but there's others around that do it the same type of process. That's what you need to buy if you want really good bacon.
That's right. Because it's just cured
you're
beautifully.
You're getting the meat. You're not getting BS.
That's right.
Can we say bullshit? No.
Well, I don't know what just happened there.
Okay.
Well, but you can, and also that's the good one that you can save the dripping for, and you can use that like if you're making.
And it doesn't shrink. It doesn't go into nothing.
No, it's nice
and it tastes.
Yeah. And do some Brussels sprouts with the dripping out. And the same thing we know with fish. Like if you're going to mix a special dish, don't go get a fresh piece of whatever you're getting.
Go to the market and buy it.
That's right. You don't want it, like frozen has its place when you're just during the week doing stuff, but get beautiful ingredients if you're having people come over and you want to make something special.
Yeah. Especially, and we talked about it, or I talked about it with prawns. Okay. Shrimp. Yep. Go to the market. Make sure they're fresh Australian shrimp, not frozen.
That's right.
The taste is phenomenal.
Oh, and it's beautiful, and you know you get the wrong
more for it.
No, and you're not getting
and
rubbish.
You get them all there clean. There's no heads on it. There's no tails on it. I mean, it's a little bit at that tail, but they're all cleaned, so you're not paying for all that waste.
Now, I wanted to go back and hear your wish list.
My wish list. Okay, my wish list. So I got 4 of them from Chicago. Maybe because I'm a New Yorker and I can make my stuff in New York, but Chicago. They're famous for Italian beef sandwiches. Mm-hmm. So there's 2 places. One is Al's, which is probably the prominent one. I've been there. So almost like a hole in the wall, Great Italian beef sandwich. It's worth the little trip there if you ever get to Chicago. The other one's Portello's. Now Portello's also they're famous for their roast beef sandwich too. And it comes like with au jus, some of them. And they're all over the place, Portello's. But their best thing that I ever had there was the Polish sausage. Not so much for the sausage, but for the onion topping that they put on it. It looks gross. They gave it to me because somebody says, "Oh, try to," So I did, and I looked at it and said,
"What did I do?
This doesn't look too appetizing." It's dark in color. The onions that are on it. I took a bite. Oh, it was
amazing.
You don't have to look at it to be beautiful. Okay, it was perfect. Then also Rick Bellis.
Yes.
Because when he owned the company, we were doing a lot of business with them, and as national salesman, he took me to his restaurant, Zelko.
Yep.
XOCO.
Yep.
Okay, and we went there for breakfast, and I had the Mexican hot chocolate. I know I had other things that were really good there, but that one, it just stuck with me. It was so good. If you ever go to Chicago, go to breakfast over there and get the Mexican hot chocolate. You will dream about it.
Ooh, that
I don't
sounds
know
good.
what they did to it, how they did it.
Can I just jump in for 1 second? Because you know the Silver Palette Cookbook?
Yeah.
So it's either in that one or there was an offshoot of it. You know what they do to make their hot chocolates rich, like at a restaurant? Egg yolk.
Egg yolk.
They put an egg yolk in it when they're doing it, and it just sort of almost like a custard.
But you know, Mexican coffee, Mexican chocolate that we have. The two that are in there. Iberia is one.
Yeah, and
there's another one. Yeah, it's grainy.
Yes, it is.
Okay, and you got to take that hot. You need a hammer to break it.
I'm always afraid I'm going to hurt.
Yeah, and then you got to put it in a pan with milk and slowly bring it up to heat, to melt it. But it was that, and then whatever else they did to it, I don't know. And then Weber, like in the Webers,
yes,
they had their own restaurant there in Chicago, probably still do. And when I go to a place that I haven't been before, I usually ask the staff, "What do you eat here? What would you eat?"
Yeah.
So the guy said, "Meatloaf." Okay.
Why not?
I had the meatloaf, so they cut the meatloaf. Then they got these gas burning. They look like rubber, kettle barbecues.
Yeah,
but they're, more commercialized and souped up for them.
Well, it is the Weber restaurant.
Yeah, so they just like grill it on that a bit, and then they take it off, and then they put it into a pretzel bun.
Oh, yum.
And then whatever toppings they had on, and it was just also to die for.
Oh, that sounds
so
good.
I wish I had those. A few others. Do we got time here? Yeah. Oh, we're running out of time. Anyway, Hash House in Vegas.
Right.
They had chicken and waffles. Okay, so I'll just describe it to you. It's 2 pieces of sage-flavored chicken that they fry.
Yep.
With hickory bacon. You get hot reduced syrup that they pour over it and fried leeks, and they stab it with a big thing of rosemary bush to stab it in the middle to keep it all together. It is like enough to feed 2 people.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
And it is, the flavor is just.
Oh, I like this. I like the herbs in it because that just makes it.
It's so different than anybody else. You can look up their site, so it's Hash House, and they have pictures of their dishes on there. And you look at it, you start drooling. So just get away from the computer.
Now, briefly, I want to head into, just before we forget, a couple of things that we actually, Phil, the people that copycatted your original recipe, some things that we have made for our customers that are missing things. So we talked about the bacon.
The bacon, right? Because everybody's like all thrilled about, I could get bacon in Costco now. Yeah, but wait a minute, we had real American bacon. How many years now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well before Costco.
Try this.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're doing American breakfast sausage.
Yes. So we have 2 varieties.
Yes. So one is just a steamed variety. So it's already pre-cooked. You just heat and serve. And the other is that we said this was by mistake.
Some of the greatest things are by mistake.
So when I said to the fellow over there, I said, okay, I want them pre-cooked. So I said, why don't you do them like the same way you do the hot dogs?
Yeah.
Right. Which is smoked. So he did the breakfast sausage, done a little lengths. He smoked them. And when I tasted it, I said, it changed the whole profile of it.
It did.
But then I gave him to Sean. Good. Okay. Where is he from? Indiana or something? Right. And he said, these taste just like hot links. And he said, these are so good. It brought back memory. So I put a sign on.
Yeah, there we go.
It tastes like hot. If you miss hot links,
try these.
Try these. They sold out. Okay, so now we're on to another batch. And they are really, really tasty little buggers.
They are fantastic.
Now we're going to wrap them.
Too. Yes, that's
okay,
we're gonna secret.
Yes,
it's gonna make pigs in a blanket.
Yeah.
That and our seasonings. So we have
and of course the bagel seasoning.
Bagel seasoning.
Okay, that's
everything
copycat of the copycat.
That's right, because it was Phil's idea.
Yeah, and then so now we have other versions.
Yep.
So we do the hot version with Hell's Kitchen.
Yes.
Nothing to do with Gordon Ramsay. It has to do with Hell's Kitchen.
No, because I was there first.
Yeah, and the Benson Bagel one. So the Bensonhurst one.
Yep.
That's the original.
And you did a cowboy one?
I did a cowboy, so there'd be on and off that we'll do. We did a Mexican one, we did a cowboy one. I have others. I have 4 others in the back burner.
That you can come up with. We can move it around. Yeah. And pumpkin spice. So pumpkin pie seasoning.
Yeah, because pumpkin spice seasoning from my friends at McCormick for a little 0.25 grams. It's like $9 or $10.
Yes.
Okay. And we're selling 50 grams for half that.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the pumpkin spice. Not the pumpkin, with the bagel seasoning. everybody says, "Oh, Trader Joe's." You look at the size of the Trader Joe's jars. Ours is double,
Yep.
and for half the price of what they're selling it in the U.S. and U.S. dollars.
That's exactly right. And so we have control over what goes in it.
Yep.
And this is from people wanting things and us realizing that we could provide it for them. So that is I think it makes people feel like the holidays feel better. It's nice having I save all those for Thanksgiving morning, Christmas morning, all those things when you know you're going to be missing home as well.
Okay, so let's put an end here. We'll get back with Nat Nosh. Just don't make me choose. And don't forget the code for this month is apple pie.
That's right.
And how about telling everybody where we are?
Right. If you need to come down and see us, and maybe in person I can tell you where the discount box is, you can come see us at 73 Cochrane's Road, Moorabbin. We are open Monday through Thursday, 10 to 5, Friday, 10 to 6, Saturday, 10 to 5, Sunday, 11 to 5. And you can reach us on, or if you have any questions about the podcast at usafoods.com.au.
Okay, so this week we're going to skip the little thing that we do here because we're really running late on listen to things, but we'll plug them in next week.
That's
so
right.
Next week will be a double version. And we'll get right into Nat Nosh.
Excellent.
Okay, so today, Wednesday, July the 14th, is Bastille Day. So
which something French. That's right.
French toast.
French fry.
French fries.
No, those are freedom fries. Didn't they change that years ago? Anything French. So get some pâté.
And speaking of French, it's also National Grand Marnier Day.
Oh, I love Grand Marnier.
I love it. So do I.
It's a nice
you
know, we're missing those days when you just sit there with a nice little glass of something. Yeah. Yes.
I know. Maybe I have my 00 beers now.
Yes, he's gone to the dark side.
That's
now.
why I'm grumpy. Yeah. Okay. And tomorrow, July 15th, National Gummy Worm Day. You know, we got those muddy gummies. They're pretty good.
They are. I never thought they would be, but Sean was like, try this. I'm like,
So muddy gummies are gummies that are covered with chocolate.
Chocolate. Sounds gross. Is fantastic.
Oh, wow.
And July 16th, National Corn Fritters Day.
Yeah, I like corn fritters. I haven't had one in ages.
I know. They're a good little breakfast side. I do enjoy them. And National Fresh Spinach Day.
So that means you have to buy fresh spinach or you got to eat fresh spinach?
I don't know. Well, maybe, but look, you can make a spinach salad and have it with your corn fritters.
Yeah.
That works.
And spinach is a good thing that, like, you buy at Costco, not Costco, at I guess Costco has it, or at Aldi.
Yep.
And it's already cleaned and everything, because you buy whole spinach, you got to clean it.
Get all the grit out, and you might wash it.
Yeah.
So many
and it's
times.
just easy to throw into things
Yep.
as flavor. Like Jeanette made pasta last night with like a cream sauce.
Yes.
And we had some of the spinach. Just throw it in there, wilts down, and it just adds to the flavor.
Yeah, it's a bit scary at first when you got the big pile, and then it just wilts
Where
right
did
down
it
to
go?
nothing. That's right.
Does dog take it? No.
Our dog wouldn't take it, but there you go.
And Saturday, the 17th, is one for Georgia. National Peach Ice Cream Day.
Oh, that would be beautiful.
Yes.
I was saying the first homemade ice cream I remember having and seeing it with the rock salt and the crank on the wooden maker was peach ice cream at my dad's mom's house.
So good.
Oh, it was beautiful.
And then July 8th, it's got to be good creamy ice cream too.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with our next one on Sunday.
No.
Because you can't have, they won't go together.
No, it does not.
National
the sour cream?
Caviar Day. Something for the surgeons and the doctors out there.
Oh, Phil.
But they do put cream on this.
You get sour cream. You get a blintz.
No.
A little blintz. Or blini. Not blintz. A little
Yeah,
blini.
blini.
Put the caviar on it. Yes.
I'll save that for New Year's Eve. Okay. And 19th is National Daiquiri Day. Daiquiri.
That's right. I was saying it was when I was watching Godfather 2, Fredo going to Michael, how do you say daiquiri in Spanish? She goes, banana daiquiri. He goes, banana daiquiri. And that's it.
And, here we go again.
Yes.
Tuesday, July 20th.
Yes. National Lollipop Day. Oh, Phil.
I can't do it now.
Ha ha.
There we go.
There it goes. Yes, Lollipop Day. Do you remember the good old days when you go into the bank and they'd have give the kids lollipops just to shut us up?
And a dentist.
Yeah, the dentist used to do it.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
And then also, here's a American treat.
That's right.
Discovered in San Francisco.
That's exactly right.
National Fortune Cookie Day.
Oh, we all love to crack a fortune cookie.
Yeah.
Well, next week, what are we talking about?
Retro candy.
Ooh, we have got.
I'm going to take you way back.
Now, what we're going to do too, we've talked about the websites. We're going to mention them all so you guys can look them up yourself. There's quite a few. So if you're getting, well, actually, they have some candy recipes on there too. I saw on a few of those.
Yeah.
So if you get out the candy thermometer, you can jump in as well.
Okay. So that's it for this week. It's been a long one and a good one.
It is. And now my stomach's growling.
Okay. Let's go copy something. So the sign off, this is from Anonymous. John Anonymous? Or?
John, he's busy or she's busy. Yeah. They're busy.
Okay. They're busy copying somebody else's stuff.
If someone is copying you, you won.
Oh, I won.